This week's episode dedicated for dailygiving.org. Great organization, gives out money on your behalf, $1 a day. It's awesome. Every single day, someone's giving out money for you. And not only that, but the power of everyone together changes the world. They're giving out literally tens of thousands of dollars every single day. And it's changing organizations and it's changing the world. So be a part of it. Check out dailygiving.org, dailygiving.org. This week's Torah portion, we meet really an incredible individual named Noah. The world has lost itself. Noah is one of the few who are left still righteous. Him and his family. God says build an ark. And he does. Why does he build the ark for? Because it takes him a long time to build it. And God wants people to see it and realize that there's consequences. That's what happens when you give a Jew something to build. And after 120 years, he gets in the ark and nobody does anything. Flood comes in and wipes out that part of the world. And it seems from the outside that the story is like pretty straightforward, right? Like, world's gone astray. One guy survives. What a huge, amazing, awesome, righteous guy. And yeah, on the surface, Noah seems and is. The Bible tells us Noah is a tzaddik. But if you look at the commentators say something very different. Interesting. Rashi, the most famous commentator we have on Torah, says that there are those that say Noah was great. But there are those that say that if Noah were in the generation of Abraham, he wouldn't be considered anything. Now remember, Rashi isn't being dramatic. Why would Rashi pick on Noah for? Just let him be a righteous man. Like, what's the big deal? Just say he's a righteous man. Like, why would Rashi pick on one little word that the Torah says in his generation and say, well, compared to Abraham, he's a good ball player, but he plays in the yeshiva league. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he'd play in the regular league, he'd get knocked. You joking? Like, really? What's Rashi saying? So I want to explain to you a concept. And I think Rashi's getting underneath this. What's the difference between Noah and Abraham? In life, when you know something, when you live something, when you realize something, there are two different ways in which you deal with it. You grow it, you have it, you develop it, you share it with your closest people around you, maybe even just yourself. And that's good, because it's good to pursue truth. And it's good to have experiences that bring you to deeper spirituality. And it's good to grow on your own. But there's one more level, and this level, the Rashi is telling us, is qualitatively totally different than the first level. And that is when you have something, you share it. When you eat cake and it's awesome, you don't finish it. You got to try this cake. When you hear a song that you love, you don't just listen to it 100 times on your headphones. You play it for your family. When you experience an idea, a thought, a video, a song, something that moves you deeply, the reaction is not, that was amazing. The reaction is, how do I share it? Our charge as the Jewish people is not just to go deep in this world, to light ourselves up. Our charge is to be a light into others. And it gets hard because many times people don't see the world the way we see the world. Many times people don't have the experiences that we have. You ever had this in life where you love something and it's deep, but the other person doesn't have the same tools to appreciate it? They're younger than you. They come from a different background than you. They're not as interested in you. And this is where Abraham became Abraham. Because if you notice something amazing about Abraham's life, Abraham was our first forefather, a prophet, spoke with God. What did Abraham do all day? Was he lecturing online and getting millions of views? Did he wake up in the morning and walk to the front of his huge yeshiva Everyone saying, good morning, Abraham, as he gave classes that people took notes for and recorded and turned into books. You know what Abraham did most of his life? He ran a bed and breakfast. He ran a diner. He camped his tent by a road and would go out to the street looking for weary travelers and ask them to come inside, serve them food and drink. And then after serving them food and drink, said, why don't you say thank you? And they said, thank you to him. He goes, no, say thank you to God, and began conversations with people. He ran around the whole world. God moved him from one place to the next place and up and down and around. And every single place where he went, he lowered and humbled himself to everyone around him. Why? Because he knew the truth. He knew that there was a God in this world. He was inspired by something. And he understood that I don't have to speak in the way that I am inspired. I have to speak in the way that the other person hears it. And I'll do whatever it takes to influence somebody else so that they feel good. They feel deep. They have a greater meaning in their lives. They can connect to the creator of the universe. And so Rashi is telling us something amazing. He's saying there's two levels really in life. And they're big levels. The first level in life is to be inspired, to be righteous, to fight for truth, to not let the world get you hung up on what they think, to be able to find beyond what society thinks, but deeper into what God thinks. But Rashi says there's something else, which is if you really want to get to that next level, just find a way to share it. Look at your life and say, how can I share it with somebody else in the way they can hear it? Who's out there that can use a little inspiration? Who's out there that can use a boost and a pick-me-up? How do I share with my children? They're different than I am. They're not my age. Or how do I share with my neighbor? How do I share this with my family members? How do I light up not just my life, but the world? That's what it really means to walk with God. That's our mission. First to light ourselves up, Noah, then to light up the world, Abraham.